Hey guys, this is John from US Dash Camera. Today got a new review on the new INNOVV C5. It's been quite a while since the C4. INNOVV has made some changes in their business from what I hear, their manufacturing, so I'm expecting this to be much better, and it does seem like they have improved their packaging and overall production, so it looks really nice. You can see the specs here: 1080p, Full HD, Sony CMOS, 120 degree angle. It's IP65 waterproof, so this is a motorcycle, intended for motorcycles. Now, I don't have a motorcycle, but I'm going to be installing it on a colleague's motorcycle, so I'm going to be able to get good footage for the review. It says solid build aluminum lens and DVR case, ultra compact and stylish design. Of course, it's going to turn on and off and start recording with their motorcycle's power. So, of course, they do continue with Wi-Fi connection, and it looks like it's going to have a hardwiring kit specifically for motorcycles. So let's open it up. This was sent to me by OCDtronic, and they're a seller on Amazon. They also have their own website, but so OCDtronic sends me quite a few of the product reviews, so they're definitely worth checking out. So I dumped everything out, and we'll go through it real quick. Here's just a little information card. We got a sticker, got a micro SD card reader. Here's an installation guide. It looks like pretty much a quick start guide or manual. Pretty nice quality, I'd say. It's definitely a step up from INNOVV's older cameras. All of this just seems like much better quality. Here we got the mount for the camera. I noticed it looks very similar to the old mounts. Now, I don't believe I have any of my old INNOVV cameras anymore. They sat in a box for a long time, and I can't remember what I did with them. But there was some screws in there. So it looks like this is an adhesive mount. So you can either screw this on or use an adhesive, a 3M adhesive mount. Now typically this 3M stuff is so strong, like you could really do it without using the screws. That way you don't have to drill holes into your bike. Here we got the mount for the lens. Here is the hardwiring kit. It's going to have a ground, ACC connection, and battery connection. So the ACC is only on while the motorcycle's on. The battery connection is on all the time. Very similar to many other dash camera hardwiring kits. And then the camera. So let's take a look at this up close. Now, one thing you'll notice is this is screwed on, so this should keep a tight connection once it's fully inserted and screwed in. Here you can see, if it'll focus, does use USB-C, so that's really cool. I'm glad that they are using the newest version of USB. And you can see this has got a rubber coating, so this is what helps keep it waterproof. Glad to see that they are really stepping up their waterproofing on this. as their previous model was not waterproof, or the C3, the similar one with the remote lens. Now, one thing I'm not too big of a fan of is the buttons aren't even labeled. I also don't really personally like seeing the screws. Now maybe that means it's customizable, I'm not sure. And then looks like we're going to have a little cover here. Yep, that's where the memory card will go. Please refer the user manual to format card to be FAT32. So underneath that sticker is the power input, or maybe that's just data transfer because you got the power input through there, so that I'm guessing that's just if you want to transfer files over USB. Then we got a mic input also. So feels very sturdy. This doesn't even feel like a button. I haven't read the manual yet, but the buttons feel really good. Here you can see this is where the hardwiring kit is going to connect. And the lens here. So yeah, it does look very similar to the C3. I'll leave that on for now. So let's take a look at the video footage. So this camera does have just 1080p. It is a pretty good bitrate at around 15 megabits per second, including the audio. Now, something to point out is on this installation, he did put the lens behind his windshield. Now, I've seen some people put the lens underneath the front of their motorcycle, and it's really going to come to personal preference. Of course, the downside to having it behind your windshield is that the windshield does warp the view a little bit, but it also protects the lens, so if it's down by the wheel in front of the windshield, it might get hit by rocks or stuff like that. But overall, the quality of the day footage seems very good to me. Obviously, there's some cameras out there with higher than 1080p, but when it comes to motorcycle cameras, your choices are much limited, and you're also paying more for the form factor and having the waterproof body or lens. Now, looking at the night quality, I'm also pretty satisfied. Again, it's going to come down to how you install it, but looking at this footage of driving around the city at night, everything is very vivid. I think license plates from up close are very clear. Of course, once it gets to be about 15 or 20 feet away, especially at high speed, it's very hard or sometimes impossible to read the license plates. But that's how most dash cameras are still to this day. It's just when you're going at faster speeds, it's going to be harder to read license plates, especially at night. But again, overall, I'm very satisfied with the video quality of this camera, and so is my friend who has been using this on his motorcycle. Hey guys, so I wanted to talk about hardwiring the INNOVV camera. Now, I already gave the camera to my friend to install, and unfortunately I wasn't able to get a direct installation video. He did show me how it's done, so what I'm going to do is demonstrate with this other hardwiring kit, which uses the same black, yellow, red color scheme for battery connection, an ACC connection, and a ground. Now, it's not going to be the same as a typical hardwire connection or hardwiring like a dash camera, at least for his motorcycle. Now, I'm going to intersplice some footage of his hardwire job too between me talking, but his motorcycle does not have just like a fuse box like a typical car where you can just plug these in with an add a circuit.
So this is his motorcycle right here. Now, while we weren't able to get footage of the actual installation, we were able to at least just get some footage to show how it was wired, and I'm going to go ahead and show how you make the connections, and then we'll go ahead and show on his bike how it looks when it's done. So here you can see he mounted it on his handlebars, and then looks like it's crooked, but A lot of it's just due to the fact that the motorcycle is tilted. You'll see the cord goes down in front of his handlebars. And then it does go down by his shocks, and he has some zip ties to make it nice and tidy. And then he did hide it behind some of these body panels. So I'm not going to go into detail with this because every motorcycle could be different. But his battery and a lot of the wiring is under the seat. So he's going to take the seat off and show what it looks like under there. And again, every motorcycle could be different, so I'm not sure how different they all are. You can see the camera right on the top of the battery right there.
So what he is going to do, or what he did, is he used the ground and the battery connection with a O-ring type connector like this. Now this is just one I had on hand. So typically what you do is you would take the battery connection, insert it into there, and using a crimper you crimp that down so it'll have a tight fit. And then typically these are shrink tubing, so you can use a heat gun, or I've used a lighter. You just want to make sure you don't burn it or melt it too much. You just need enough heat to melt it. But then he connected the battery connector to the positive terminal and the ground to the negative or ground terminal on his battery. So let's take a look at how that looks.
So looking at his bike, you can see here he's pointing out the positive connection where the battery connection goes. And then likewise he has the ground connected to the negative portion.
He added another step. This is optional, but if he wants to disconnect the hardwiring kit easily and connect other devices without having to unscrew the battery terminal, he added a little device like this. So basically from the battery terminal there's a wire that goes to one of these, and then this would connect like that. This is just a connector that allows you to disconnect something quickly, and then this would connect to that. So this is optional. You could just go straight to this if you want. Now for the switched power, the ACC, what he did is connected to his brake light, which is only on while the motorcycle is on. So he used a wire tap like this, and what you would do here is you would put this wire through this hole, and then basically this part you're going to clamp on top of the existing wire in your motorcycle. So for example, let's say this is the wire in your motorcycle. You would put this in there and have this in here, and then you clamp this down, and you can use pliers or whatever you have to clamp that down. Oop, I don't want to actually do that. And this will pierce the wire just enough that it will create a connection between both wires. So these are quite common. You can get these at Walmart. And let's take a look at how his looks.
So looking at his, you can see that down where he's pointing, it's a blue connector. Mine was red, but his was blue. So he just tucked it in there and was able to hide the cables all underneath everything.
So I hope that helps for installing, because it's pretty easy. I've hardwired dash cameras before without any experience. I just watched some videos like this. All you really need is these few basic tools and accessories. But you do want to make sure if you're connecting to a switched wire like the last one I was talking about, make sure it is actually switched off when the bike is off.
Now, I don't have any live footage of the Wi-Fi app, but it is available on Android and iOS. So with this app, you can connect to the camera with your phone wirelessly, and there's several different things you can do. You can change the settings here. This is actually how you're going to change the settings, such as resolution, frame rate, looped video time, time lapse functionality. If you ever wanted to use that, you can view a live feed, which will help you set the angle of the lens when you're installing it. And from what I've read, a lot of people complained and said it's very buggy and unstable, but my friend didn't have any issues, so it's really hard to say. I think some of those reviews were just old, so hopefully it's been updated and all these issues have been ironed out, hopefully. Regardless, it's a big step up from INNOVV's previous C4. Now, one last shot of his motorcycle, he's pointing out that he was able to tuck the hardwiring box underneath the seat also, so it's a very clean install. I was pretty impressed how nice he was able to install it. Now, based on everything I've seen, I think this is a big win for INNOVV. It's a big jump in quality for them across the board. It seems like great quality hardware and video, and the app, has mixed reviews, but it seems like it's getting better. My friend is very happy with how it's performed. So overall, I think it's a big win for INNOVV. So I hope this video was helpful for you guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, or if you found it helpful, I'd always appreciate if you hit like. And if you're not already a subscriber, I'd appreciate if you subscribe to my channel. I got pretty regular reviews on dash cameras, sometimes action cameras, and other car devices. So of course, if you're interested in purchasing this camera, check down in the description below. I do have Amazon affiliate links that help support this channel. And of course, as usual, drive safe. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.